Hello, Bammers. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Mod Squad Horror Show. Joining me as always, we got the Godfather Rex. We got the Bam Tinder Brandon. How are y'all doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. I'm ready for a drink.
I've already
I
started
feel
drinking.
that. I will drink later. All right. I'm super excited for tonight's show. We got a lot of really good things coming at y'all tonight. As always, we are going to start our night out with Mr. Brandon
Wait,
giving us a
hold it.
drink of
No,
the
no.
night. Oh,
No,
wait.
no, no.
Wait. We're going to leave this in because this is golden. Okay.
You got to
First of
do
all-
the thing. Yeah, there you go.
First of all, before we jump into drinking all night long, this is an 18 plus stream. If you are not 18, get the fuck out. All right. Now we're going to move over to Brandon
There
so
you
we
go.
can get our drink going.
Now it's my turn. All right. It is an 18
Make him big.
and up.
Make him big.
It is an 18 and up stream, but remember you got to be 21 to enjoy this bad motherfucker right here.
Drink responsibly.
Drink
So
responsibly.
don't forget to drink responsibly. So in honor of one of the coolest franchises in this next horror box, I'm doing a drink called Absolute Pleasure from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. So the first thing we're going to do is grab our shaker, throw in a couple of maraschino cherries to muddle up. Now, I picked up a new jar today because I don't know if you watched last week, but I was munching on these things during the video. So I had to pick up a new jar, and I didn't know that you can buy these stemless. And I was super disappointed when I got home and found out that the jar I got was stemless. What the fuck's the point of even having maraschino cherries without the stem? So, needless to say, I was needless to say, I was a little bummed out about that. But anyways,
You
we
don't
throw in
gotta
a
pull it
couple.
off before you eat it.
Yeah, so we're gonna throw in a couple of maraschino cherries and muddle them up. All right, and then we're gonna do 1.5 ounces of cherry brandy. Now they've got this Kirschwasser, which is a cherry flavored brandy that I picked up. So we're going to do 1.5 ounces of that into our shaker. Bam. And then we're going to do 1 ounce of vodka. Now it calls for absolute vodka because the name of this is Absolute Pleasure. I didn't have absolute vodka, but I had some Svedka, so that's what I'm using. Oh, gotta take the lid off. All right. And then, so yeah, 1 ounce. 1 ounce of vodka. Bam. Oh, let's not forget to add our ice. If we add the ice too late, it splashes. All right. 1/4 ounce of Irish cream. I just bought a little bottle of Bailey's because I don't drink a whole lot of Irish cream. I wish I would have bought a bigger bottle because this drink is pretty freaking awesome. So I got this little guy, but it only takes 1/4 ounce. So this little bottle will probably make a few drinks. So bam, 1/4 ounce of Irish cream, 1/4 ounce of simple syrup. Oh, you know what? I should have started this. So one of the cooler things about this drink, actually, and I totally forgot to start with this, is you actually are supposed to use absinthe, about 4 or 5 drops of absinthe. And if you can find it, it comes in this little bottle, which is pretty cool because a little bit of absinthe goes a long way. So you actually use a few drops of absinthe, and then you roll it around and coat the inside of your glass with the absinthe, which I already did that. I pre-did that because it takes a minute or two to kind of get the absinthe all around inside the glass. So you do that, get the absinthe all around in there, throw all of your other ingredients into your shaker with the ice. And then what I'm actually going to do is I'm also going to add about 1/2 ounce of the maraschino cherry juice, because the one that I made earlier, I thought this was going to be a super sweet drink, and it's really not that sweet. It honestly could have been a little bit sweeter. So I'm going to add a little bit of the cherry juice and give it a good shake. So once you give it a good shake and get the outside of your shaker nice and frosty, we're going to strain straight into your glass right on top of the absinthe. And it makes this cool pink, pretty pink frothy color. Now I was also thinking this is kind of a perfect drink for Valentine's Day, which we got coming up also. So if you guys are feeling like making a pretty pink drink for Valentine's Day, I also highly recommend it. When the wife gets home later, we're going to be drinking these and watching the Rocky Horror Picture Show. So then we are going to top it off. Oh shoot, I left my garnish thing. Oh well. So anyways, you can top it off with a couple of cherries as your garnish. And there you have the absolute pleasure. And now you want to take a minute to drink it because I can't handle the anticipation. Oh, so fucking good. All right, there you have it. The absolute pleasure. I hope you enjoy.
All right. Thank you as always, Brandon. And we always love having you on here making them drinks for the night because who doesn't like a little drink with a little bit of horror? All right. So, next thing that we have on the list of shit to do here, we have got some horror news. So, the first thing that I want to cover is I have a follow up from our conversation last week where we had talked about Dexter New Blood Season 2 being canceled.
Yeah.
Apparently that was a load of caca because they are now not only doing a season 2 of Dexter New Blood, but they're also doing Dexter Origins, which is based around him in his younger years, which I'm super excited about. There was also talk of them doing a spinoff with the Trinity Killer. I don't know for sure on that one, but that was something that they had talked about. Regardless, I think the Trinity Killer would be really cool to follow and like see like start to finish kind of his life as the Trinity Killer, right?
Yeah.
But I'm also super excited to follow Dexter like when he was younger and get a little bit more insight of like what makes him tick as a serial killer. But yeah, I'm just excited regardless. I don't know that I'll watch season 2 of Dexter New Blood because hashtag I don't like Harrison. I don't feel like, first of all, he doesn't fit the code, right? He hasn't been taught the code. We talked about that. And I just don't feel like it would have the same effect. Now, if Dexter came back as like his dark passenger, I could see maybe trying to watch it because he's still in it. But I won't watch it if it's just Harrison.
Yeah, I agree. I'm definitely looking forward to Dexter Origins a lot more than I am the New Blood Part 2, Season 2. Because, I mean, Harrison, he showed glimpses of having that, dark passenger or whatever, but he didn't go through the trauma that Dexter went through. Sure, he was abandoned as a kid and, he had to grow up on his own kind of.
He did though. His mom got killed. Remember, Trinity kills her in the bathtub with him in the floor.
Yeah, that's true. He did. Yeah. But I mean, he just doesn't. He doesn't seem like he was affected by it nearly as much as Dexter was. And of course, he didn't have Harry to guide him and teach him the code like Dexter. So I'm definitely looking forward. I know we saw a lot of, younger Dexter peppered in throughout the seasons of the original series. So they've kind of covered that. But I think more Dexter is always a good thing. So
definitely agree. Rex, what do you have to say? You're being awful quiet over there.
Y'all are the Dexter experts, and I would almost venture to say maybe a little obsessive with some of y'all on Dexter. But I know.
So good.
I know.
It's so good.
So I am not the second one that came out, like I said, I think I said the same thing in the last show. I was very upset that they came out with a sequel or sequel because they left it with him on the sailboat, and that's where they should have left it, in my opinion. Now, a prequel I think will be pretty good. I mean, I'll watch that, especially if it explains, if it shows his first kill and so on and so. I think that'd be kind of interesting. So.
Yeah, I feel like it would kind of have to, right? Like
I would
lead up
think.
to showing his first kill. You know, whether he started with animals or whatever, you know, and then like most serial killers do.
I believe that he did.
Yeah,
He started
and then
with
leading
animals.
up to it.
Do we know,
you know,
who's doing it, who's producing it, who the showrunners are yet?
I think they announced it. I don't remember off the top of my head. I think it's like the original creators that are still involved with it, and I really hope, like, I mean, of course, Michael C. Hall made Dexter, so I hope he at least does like the voiceover, like he did in Dexter. I feel like he could still do the voiceover for the origins, you know, like still talk about like he's telling the story of his life when he was younger. You know?
Yeah, I the only reason I ask is if they do the same thing like they did like with Hannibal, the TV series Hannibal. And while that was on regular TV, and I think it would have been a much better show if it was on Netflix or something like that. Hannibal is still really good, and it shows a lot of the beginning of you know, Hannibal and how he started becoming before he got caught, and I thought that was just great.
Right.
So.
All right. So we got a couple of other things. Rex, I know there was one that you wanted to cover. Do you want to take that?
Yes, I do. I'm really excited. There's a movie coming out. It's called The Unheard. A little synopsis on it. It's about a 20-year-old, has a 20-year-old actress, and she's undergoing an experimental procedure to restore damaged hearing. But she begins suffering from basically hearing hallucinations, but they're related to her disappearance of her mother. And I'm excited about this because it's a different take on the horror genre that we're used to, I guess, because I guess she's hearing things instead of seeing things. But what I'm really excited about is the Rasmussen brothers are the ones who did the script, Michael and Sean, and they are the ones who wrote Crawl, the alligator horror flick. So, and
that was a cool one.
As cheesy, well, see, I thought it was kind of cheesy, but the script was well written. So
no, it was a good movie.
It was. Cool. So I'm not big on creature horror. Jaws, okay, but anything else, no.
I love creature horror,
but I'm really excited for it. And they've only got like a $2 million budget for it, but I think they're going to do a great job with it. And I think that it's probably gonna have a limited release, so on and so forth. But when they get it done, it comes out, I think it's going to become a very quick cult classic. I really do. So
nice.
I'm pretty excited.
That's awesome. I can't wait. Yeah, I'm excited. I love a good low budget horror. Yeah. So sounds cool. I mean, yeah, $2 million. That's nothing for a movie.
So. The Blair Witch Project was made. Sorry.
Works.
Woohoo! Blair Witch was like $80,000 and whatever.
Yeah.
And God, they made tons of money off that.
Yeah.
My bad. Didn't mean to call her that. Please don't come back at me.
No, she was. I think it's fair to say that she was a bitch.
Yeah. It was.
She definitely had some bitchy tendencies there.
I'm just saying, as a parent with adult children now, I can say that movie made it to where I never put my kids in the corner. Yeah, I was like, no, can't do it.
Yeah, I'm not super duper familiar with this movie that Rex was talking about, but yeah, I'm excited to see what comes of it. I've got one more thing. We had two things, but I'm just going to cover one of them. We'll just move one of them to next week. So I'm not excited for this. Just because I haven't even watched the second one because it's not my kind of movie. But I wanted to cover it anyways. They're looking at doing A Quiet Place Day 1. I think it's the third
it just
installment.
started filming.
Yeah, I am not a fan. I watched the first one and haven't watched the second one because it's just not my cup of tea.
Really?
What do you guys think?
Oh man, I love those movies.
I wasn't a fan either, but I'll probably be more apt to be watching this one because I'm assuming that It's going to start off like every normal day in the city and lots of noise and people talking until they come to the realization that they have to be quiet. And then at that point, they'll lose interest again. But to see how it leads up to that, I think it'll be okay.
I think John Krasinski is. I'm a huge fan of The Office, but he's an awesome freaking director. So I know he's not directing this one. He's like producing it. I know he just posted just the other day that they just started filming. It was like for day one of filming day one. So I'm a fan though, so I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I can't wait.
I think that about does it for horror news today. So next thing on our list here, we do have mail call / show and tell. I didn't get anything in the mail, but I do have something to share. This is something that I got at Frightmare Weekend in, Dallas last year. And it's something that's really cool. I think I may have talked about this at one point, maybe on like the normal show. But Brad, who plays the voice of Chucky in Child's Play and all of those amazing movies, his daughter Fiona is the one that comes in and she plays Nika in the new movies and in the TV series. I will tell you that this girl is amazing in person. It was really funny because we went down to get autographs and stuff with her. And as we were going up, because we had to check out of our room, as we were going up, she was coming off the elevator. And I was like, hey, I said, we were in your line. Somebody's holding our place. We'll be right back. I got to go check out of my room. And she was like, okay, like, cool. I'll see you down there. And anyways, we got down there and had this whole conversation with her about Zoe and how much she loves it. Anyways, long story short, we've got this super cool print of her coming up out of the wheelchair when she gets taken over by Chucky.
Yeah, curse. Yeah.
Yes, so it's super cool. So like you can see, she wrote a lot of stuff here, and we've got her auto here. But it's super cool because it says to the McKimsons, because that's, me, my husband, my daughter's last name. Thank you for making our next Chucky. And then she signed it Zoe, and I always butcher their last name, but she signed it Zoe Durif, or however you say it. Durif. Yeah. I don't remember.
Durif. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, she signed it with Zoe, which is our daughter, with their last name. And I thought that was super cool that she would do that. And then she signed it and stuff. But she was so inquisitive about like how Zoe reacts to the shows. And like, she really wanted to know more. So like, she's super cool. And I sent her the picture of Zoe dressed up as Chucky for Halloween one year on Instagram. It was cool. But yeah, that's my story.
That's very cool. Yeah, she's super cool. I've seen like interviews with her and stuff, and yeah, she's super talented. Brad Dourif is one autograph that I don't have that I really need to add to my horror collection. But when she joined the series, like in the movies in Curse of Chucky and Cult of Chucky, and then they brought her into the series, the coolest part I think was when she portrayed a young Charles Lee Ray, when she played her dad at like the young version of him. The makeup that they did on her, making her look like her dad, was so bitchin'. Like the makeup crew for that was fucking awesome. They should have gotten an award for that. It was so cool. Yeah. She's a great actress. So yeah, that's a really cool story. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, we also went to a Q&A with all of them from the Chucky series. I can't remember the kid's name, but like the one kid that Chucky ends up turning into like a killer, and he kills his dad. And, anyways, they were all there, and the very last question, because they were doing picking people out. Very last question was this little girl and said, "Do the laugh." Right, the laugh. And she's like, oh, she's a little uncomfortable. She's like, I can't do it in the same room as him. I have all of it on video. I'll have to post it.
That's awesome.
But he does the laugh, right?
Really? That's so
And then she's kind of like, I can't do it with him in the room. Like, I can't. And she ends up doing it. And it is such an iconic moment to have them in the same room doing like this laugh that is embedded in everybody's brains that has ever watched Child's Play.
That's really cool. That's a
awesome.
Cool story. Yeah, I love those Q&As going. I miss going to cons. I miss going to cons so much. The Q&As are always so much fun. I've been to some good ones. That's
I
really
agree.
cool.
Anybody else got show and tell, mail call?
I do not tonight. I am excitedly awaiting my January horror box.
I got
So,
tracking for mine today.
got mine
I
today
did
as well.
too.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know. I got
I'm
tracking
really
for mine.
I'm really hoping for. I know that BAM does a lot of the different levels of like this, that, and the other. I'm really hoping that I get an upgrade on whatever the autograph is. So,
Mhm.
Yeah,
you know, I'm really hoping for that. And very excited. Can't wait.
I'm really excited. I know what it is, and I know that a lot of people are going to be really excited about it. You know, can't say a whole lot about it. I will say that I know that they are getting ahead. I know a lot of people are frustrated with like the shipping times and stuff, and I know that he's been really focusing on getting ahead on getting things lined up and deals done and everything so that the shipping can go faster. And I can say that's definitely happening. So these delays are definitely temporary, but
Well, what I think also
I
one of
can't
the
wait for
delays.
these boxes.
Yeah, one of the delays this last month though is Texas. We had a freak ice storm.
Yeah,
In Texas, and that affected a lot because I mean one crystal of ice or one snowflake falling will shut down the state of Texas.
yeah, I know they
So,
were out of the office for like over a week, like
Yeah.
completely out of the office in the middle of a move, which is freaking frustrating. But
I bet.
yeah, only so much you can do there, but good things
Did
are
you
coming.
finish your
man.
drink already, Brandon?
I did. It was really
You need
good.
to do the time warp.
I
You need to do the time warp and make another one.
I need to do the time warp again and make
There you
another
go.
fucking drink.
I was waiting to
I
say
think-
that when you finish your drink. So.
That was perfect timing. While you continue with the next segment, I'm gonna go ahead and do the time warp.
All right. Well, I'm going to take it on back. So, we do have our next segment that we're going to go to, as everybody always loves a good horror trailer. I'm super excited for this. I wanted to watch some of it just to get like a feel of what it was about and how good it was going to be able to show this to you guys. I will say I made it probably about halfway through it and I stopped because I was like, oh, we have to do this and we have to watch it together. So I have not seen the full
Nice.
trailer, but I'm
Nice.
super excited. So let me go ahead and get this pulled up and we'll take a look.
We got a big hike planned for us tomorrow.
Can we just do some fun indoor activities?
Yeah, like drinking.
Is this still even a trail?
Wow.
How far down do you think that goes?
I don't know.
Gives me the creeps.
Let's go.
Rise and shine, sleepyheads. Where did the kids go?
They can't go far.
I'm still trying to understand how you let them out of your sight.
When we woke up, they were gone.
Guys! There you are. No. Stop! No! Jesus Christ.
Hey, Ben! Look at me.
Whoa, hey! You good, man?
How you been feeling lately?
I know what I saw.
Can I show you something in the woods?
I don't think that's them out there anymore.
I promise. We're better than ever.
This is your fault! Get out!
What did you do to your mom, Spencer?
We want to play a game with you. Ready or not, here we come. We want to play with you now.
No,
Hey, I like the trailer. I'm excited about this movie.
Yeah, me too. I think I can't tell you how much I love a good like scary fucking kid show. Like kids are creepy in general half of the time just cuz like they are.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
anything to me that kills
are
baby
inherently
fever, I'm
creepy.
all about. So
Kids are inherently creepy, so kids in horror movies are always just fucking creepy. It's a good
agreed.
one. And the dude, Matt Saracen from Friday Night Lights, he was in that Midnight Mass show, which was super freaking cool too. So I like seeing him again. He's a good actor.
All right. Well, I think that about does it for our trailer.
I'm excited.
On to our next segment. Rex, this is all you, buddy. We do have our serial killer of the week. Super excited for this. You want to take it on away?
Sure. All right. So this week, I decided to do somebody that was a little closer to home in Texas. In 1999, he briefly became the 457th fugitive listed on the FBI's 10 most wanted. Today, I present to you Angel Resendez, also known as the Railroad Killer. He briefly became that because he went back to Mexico and his sister saw what was going on, saw him on the news, and she convinced him to turn himself in, and he did. He's killed probably 16 people, and most of them were by train tracks because that's how he was traveling around. And the places he was killed: San Antonio, Texas, Florida, California, Kentucky, Georgia, more in Texas, Houston, San Antonio, W. I'm not sure where that is. He did attack a couple. There's only one person that actually lived after she was attacked. Her boyfriend / maybe husband was killed, and then she was got sexually assaulted by him and beaten and shot, and she actually lived. He was kind of a shitbag, to be saying. And when he finally got captured, he was put on death row in Texas, convicted of murder, and died of lethal injection on June 27th of 2006. And he was his last words, nothing creepy for him, but I'm going to lead into that, something else in a second. His last words were, I want to ask if it is in your heart to forgive me. You don't have to. I know I allowed the devil to turn my life. I just ask you to forgive me and ask the Lord to forgive me for allowing the devil to deceive me. I thank God for having penance in me. You did not deserve this. I deserve what I'm getting. So he basically made his peace and decided, hey, I'm good to go. So that was that with him. He was nicknamed the Railroad Killer. Almost all his victims were found by the railroad, which was a big issue in the 90s. I know for you younger people listening, we in Texas, we're like, oh, that's scary, railroads. But it was a good thing. So there's that. And if I may allow just for a quick second, I am going to do something a little different. There is a new segment that I'm going to eventually start. And we're going to be calling it either the last word, the final word, something. And I'm going to be giving y'all quotes of famous and infamous people who died either by getting killed or electrocution or whatever. James French is who I'm going to do today. He was electrocuted in August 10th of 1966. James French did lots of bad stuff, and he was the last person that was executed in Oklahoma before they temporarily, suspended capital punishment. His last words were as follows, and I thought this was the best one. That's why I'm opening with this one. James French says, how's this for a headline? French fries. So that's what he said before he got electrocuted. And I thought that was amazing.
His last words were a dad joke. That's awesome.
It was amazing. French fries. Being a dad, I'm pretty sure that's why I liked it. But that is my serial killer.
The executioner was like, and then
he went,
he gave him a rim shot and then killed him.
But that's Resendez was my guy, and I hope to bring more fun and lovely dad joke style death comics still in the future.
I love the final word. That's a pretty cool cool idea. Yeah.
And that's all I've got. It's all on you. Thanks.
You're welcome. Yeah, super, super good idea of doing the last words. I definitely am on board with that one. But for the time being, it's time for Kill of the Week, y'all.
Yay.
Super excited about this one. This is something that we had all kind of discussed at one point, and I was like, let's do this one this week because
Yes.
everybody's going to truly enjoy this classic.
Is this one Brandon's kill?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I'm excited.
Me too. All right. Let's go.
Yes.
Love it.
It's so good.
Can I just point out real quick? So it's hard for these two, for background information for everybody watching. These two have a hard time talking during trailers because it echoes. Okay, so I just want to point out when you watch the recording of this and you
I muted.
hear Brandon's freaking.
I'm sorry. I muted it as soon as I realized that you can hear me during it.
Just the giggle is gonna echo.
I'm sorry, but I love this movie so much. I know that it gets a lot of hate because it's Jason in space, but fuck, this movie has everything. I love the design of the hockey mask before, like the design of it before it gets his upgrade later. It has some of the coolest kills. That is one of my favorite kills in the entire fucking franchise. It's got a bunch of young chicks showing their boobs. Right there we saw Jason get a fucking feel. It's got the sleeping bag scene in it, smashing the chick in the sleeping bag against the tree. And then he gets his upgrade and it's Uber Jason. This was one of the first movies I ever bought on DVD. I'm dating myself a little bit right there. Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. I bought this. It was this and Road Trip. I bought these movies at Walmart on DVD. Fuck yeah. That was a good weekend.
Good old road trip.
I'm sorry, but that scene is so much fun. I'm glad you showed it because I had suggested this one. This was one of the two that I suggested during our Friday the 13th episode. And we went with the sleeping bag scene, but this was definitely a close second. So I'm glad you went with this one. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Everybody gets to say around here. All right. So I think that about does it for our kill of the week. I hope that y'all enjoyed.
Yeah.
Last segment of the night, we've got What's in the Box.
What's in the box?
Oh, I wasn't ready. What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Damn it.
We are never all on the same page. It just doesn't happen.
We need to record that. So you can just play the cue. What's in the box? We'll do it, and then you just play that as a soundbite.
I like saying it. It gets me pumped up.
All right. Well, Brandon, since you're so pumped up, why don't you start us off, buddy? What are you excited about in the box for February?
Oh man, what am I not excited about? Scream 6. Who isn't excited about Scream 6?
I'm very excited about Scream 6.
I honestly am excited about Scream 6. I also liked Jason Takes Manhattan, and that might be why I'm excited about Scream 6, because Ghostface takes Manhattan. Nightbreed is one of my favorite cult classics. I'm a big Clive Barker fan, so I'm really excited about Nightbreed. Nightmare on Elm Street 5, Dream Child, one of my favorite of the sequels in the series. So that has some really, really cool kills in it. And then, of course, the fourth franchise that Adam announced recently, and which was the inspiration for tonight's drink, a Rocky Horror Picture Show. I feel like you know what's cool about Rocky Horror. When I was living in Europe, real quick, and when I was in London, there was a theater there, the Prince Charles Cinema, and once a month they would do a Rocky Horror Picture Show sing along where everybody would dress up, go to the movie, and watch the movie and sing along in like dressed up like the characters. I tell you, I went once and I was extremely out of place because I wasn't dressed in drag, but or wearing whitey tighties. But it was so much fun. The people that love that movie, they fucking love that movie. Like people are obsessed with this movie. It's beyond a cult classic at this point. It's almost a cult. The Rocky Horror Picture Show cult is a real thing. So I am excited to see what's going to be in the box with that one.
Yeah, I'm going to add. Well, for one, I just want to say, with no matter what falls with the franchises, with whether it's the Scream or whether it's Rocky Horror, or whether it's Nightmare on Elm Street. If it's Nightmare on Elm Street, I can't wait because I'll add that to my Nightmare on Elm Street collection.
Yeah.
If it's Scream, I will add that to my Scream collection.
Yeah.
Now, Rocky Horror. I am a big fan of Rocky Horror. And story time with The Godfather for a second. Going way, way back into my childhood. Way back.
Holy shit. You can remember that far?
Yeah, I can remember it still. When The Godfather's hair used to be down past his rear end. Okay, because I used to be a little stoner hippie.
He used to have hair.
I did. I actually played Riff Raff in plays. So I've actually been in Rocky Horror.
That's awesome.
I had at the time, I mean, it's not as great now, but at the time, great singing voice. And yeah, I played Riff Raff. So I am very excited about Rocky Horror because who wouldn't be? And I
unfortunately that was before social media, so there's like no video evidence of that, is there?
Oh, I've got video of it. It's never going to be see the light of day.
Rex.
Nope.
That'll be posted right down here if you guys want to click the link.
It will not.
Offline, Rex. Me and you got to talk. I got to find out what I got to do to get a hold of that.
You will not. You will not. There's certain things I hide. One, Rocky Horror plays,
dark.
And two, no, not even after dark. And two, see my lovely off the horror subject Star Trek collection. Back in the 90s, I was in a Star Trek fan club, and it was based on the Klingons. So,
nerd.
I am. There's stuff on that too that will never see the light of day.
That's awesome. I love it.
So,
I love it.
But I am excited about Rocky Horror. I'm just thrilled to death about Rocky Horror.
I really am too. Yeah.
I really wish they would do it more often.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch it later with my wife. This will be the first time we've actually watched it together. Like we've been married for like 17 years, and I don't think we've ever actually watched it together. So I'm pretty stoked. I'll be making some of these.
Well, we know what Brandon's watching tonight. Rex, do you have anything specific you're watching tonight?
No, actually, off the topic again of horror stuff, I'm actually not watching anything. Once we get done here this evening, I plan on probably gaming.
Yeah, it sounds like a good plan. Not really on the subject of horror because it's definitely not a horror show, I wouldn't say. But I'm watching the new season of You.
I guess that's kind of like, thriller, right? Which is kind of an offshoot of horror.
I mean, he murders people. Like, that's his thing.
Yeah.
Not in this season so far. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I've never watched an episode of You, but my daughter, my 17-year-old, she's really excited. She's told me about it like 5 times. She's like, Dad, the new season of You. I'm like, yeah, I've never watched it.
It gives me Dexter vibes, and let me explain why.
Cool.
We know Dexter is known for his voiceover, right? Where he acts out the scenes, but he's not saying anything, but he's talking over what he's doing. Okay, so Joe, the main guy from You, also does that.
Oh, so he ripped
does
off Dexter.
the voiceover. Well, I mean, it's like a way of shooting scenes. Like nobody owns that technically, but that's what it reminds me of. I feel like they tried to give it kind of like that Dexter vibe. Although Joe Goldberg, I love you with all my heart, but you will never be Dexter.
Right.
It is what it is. But yeah,
but that show has a following. I know. I mean, everybody that watches that show freaking loves it. One of these days, I need to give it a shot. I just haven't taken the time to do it. But
I will say that Michael C. Hall, back on the Dexter subject, Michael C. Hall is a Grail auto for me. Rex likes to say that I'm obsessed, but I have watched the entirety of Dexter at least 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, same. Yep.
Like,
me and the wife.
I can quote shit.
we started, to date myself again, we started watching that show when the first season came out on Netflix, when you got the DVDs in the mail. And then we started watching season 2 when it was actually on TV. So then we watched every season, every year. We would watch every week. So yeah, I'm there with you, sister. I've been watching Dexter for years and years and years. And then we rewatched it with our daughter once she got a little bit older, and she became obsessed with it also. So I've rewatched it a few times, and it just gets better. It really does. I love that show.
This goes back to a conversation that we had. I believe it may have been on the very first show we ever did for the horror show, where we had asked, how do women fall in love with serial killers? That's how.
Example A.
Have you seen some of the serial killers, though? I mean, like Richard Ramirez and Ted Bundy. I mean, these were handsome dudes, Fucking Jeffrey Dahmer wasn't that bad looking. So a lot of these guys are easy on the eyes. And so I could see, and then of course, there's always the, girls love the bad boy thing. They might take it to the extreme with the bad boy, him being a serial killer, but
see something, say something.
Yeah, something, say something. Fuck you.
Hey, crime. And
cool.
for any other reason, Crime Stoppers. Everybody's got Crime Stoppers in their area. No matter where you're at in the United States, Alaska, Hawaii, or the continental United States, you have Crime Stoppers. If you know somebody's about to do something dumb, call Crime Stoppers, because if you're being a rat, you might as well get paid for it, dude.
It works. Works though, for example, the University of Idaho, it was people calling in and saying that they saw this car at this time, and that was how this dude got caught, because of people paying attention. And I mean, he had this. I mean, I lived in Moscow, Idaho, and this is a college town. It's a party town, but he had everybody aware and looking out for something amiss, and it was just a matter of time before he finally got caught. And thank God he did, and thank God he was a fucking idiot, and he was a criminology major and left behind the sheath, the knife sheath, where they found the partial print or the DNA on it. And I mean, he can't compare himself to the greats. He won't be remembered in years to come. Yeah.
But for us here at the Mod Squad Horror Show, I appreciate y'all for joining us. All that good stuff. Have a good night, and we will see you next time.
Mahalo.